Well, good evening. So we're a few minutes late today. Tea prep, as always, takes precedence. But now we will dive into Dead by Daylight, and I'll start off the rotation with a killer game on the basis that it gives us time to chat for a bit while we're waiting for the queue time. And we'll see how the queue time's going. If it's not so bad, then we'll get a few games with killer in, and if it's particularly bad, then we'll jump on Survivor for a while. Usually I find the queue times get a little bit better, a little bit later in the evening as more people jump on. So we'll see how that all works out. So, in game, I think we decided that top left for DBD works pretty well. And so we'll stick with that. I am still working on a list of stuff for improving the stream, one of which is to try and have a look at getting the green screen functionality of the webcam to work. And once that's up and running, then obviously I'll have a little bit more choice about where I can be on the screen, because I'll take up less space, about half as much I'm told actually, which, yeah, if you think about the amount of space that my sort of shoulder and head take up versus the amount of empty space around, it's maybe even more, less than half, I would say. Anyway, so that is one of the things. Hello, what's coming up here? Adjustments for the tomb, difficulty reduced, full list of challenges, blah blah blah, 50% off. Yeah, I'm not buying stuff until the new thing comes out anyway, so that's not an issue. Let's jump in as the killer. I think I just played Nurse earlier, so I think Billy's just one that I just consistently find pretty fun. So let's go with a bit of Billy. We'll go for some Ebony Memento, why not? Jump straight in, so let's just pick a challenge. Doesn't look like I can for some reason, so that'll do for now. So, yep. So that's one improvement, is the green screen type thing, and the other improvement is the hardware. Evening, Robin. How you doing, mate? Not seen you for a couple of days. What's been happening? I heard you had some flight troubles or something. I was sorry to hear that. That sucks. Was it an airline thing, or you just missed the flight, or you just couldn't make it in the end, or what went down there? So as I was saying, hardware. I mentioned it on Facebook and on my Twitter, which I'll start to share a bit more once I've actually got the hang of what the fuck that website does, and how to upload video on it and stuff like that. Flight was just cancelled. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, dude. The hardware will be arriving on Wednesday. I think on Facebook I may have accidentally said that it's coming tomorrow. It's not. I've just skipped a day. It's coming on Wednesday, so I've invested a fair amount. I actually borrowed it from my brother so that I could get the stream quality up as soon as possible. I don't like putting stuff out with my face on it unless it's a quality I'm happy with. So yeah, I got the new hardware coming in, and then we should see quite an upgrade in the encoding, and I should be able to start streaming Apex again, as well as obviously getting a better quality for Dead by Daylight and stuff like that I'll be playing quite a lot, so I'm really happy about that. That's good news to be able to announce. You made a weekend out of it at home, so it was all good. Oh, well, that's good. I mean, it's, I think it's often very difficult when you've got a plan mentally about what you're going to do. Like I was making some plans mentally just before the stream about what I'm going to do when it finishes, and you start to look forward to those plans, and then if they suddenly change, you get fucked, don't you? You can't get your head out of it, and you struggle to change, right? So the fact that you actually managed to change plans and come up with something and do it was probably great. Invited to a board game night and a Christmas feast, so plans were quickly forgotten. Stream didn't work out on Apex. So essentially what's happened is Apex has brought to my attention that while my graphics card is top notch, my CPU, RAM and motherboard were all top-notch about 6 years ago. If not more, I can't remember, but a long time ago, and someone very unkindly did a CPU benchmark for me, and where I think when I bought it, it was something like the 13th most powerful that existed. It's now the 1456th or something like that, and was desperately in need of an upgrade. And so while it could run all of the top-end games, it couldn't run them and encode them at a speed and quality that I was happy with. So basically, Apex especially was getting very blurry whenever there was action, and of course that's the time when you most want to be able to see what's going on. So yeah, lots of room for improvement. So I've just spent about 420 quid on a bunch of new stuff. Also, got a new microphone arm to hold the microphone in a better position. So hopefully you should get a slight increase in the sound quality as well. All of these little things I am trying to work on, trying to get everything better and better as we move forward. But it's mainly just for me and because I'm a perfectionist, so you want to get all the loose ends tied up. Yeah, no, it is nice to hear. Alright, we've got ourselves a game, so it looks like the queue time's not the worst, but not the best either, so we might do 1 or 2 as the killer, and then we'll probably jump onto Survivor, but I do always enjoy a good game with Billy at the start of the stream. I don't know, he's not the best killer by any means, but he's certainly one of the ones that I enjoy playing a lot. He's a lot of fun. So we're going to jump straight in and see what happens. Oh! We've spotted someone, and now we've just spotted them going through here. Now this is a really good Survivor hiding spot. So, is he just hiding? Oh, he's here, right, okay. So he's going to use this loot. Is he going to be safe or is he going to be ballsy? Oh, he's going to be an absolute penis. He loses the pallet, gets hit, and hangs around. If I was his ally, I'd be mighty peeved. As this lady should be, because she's about to get chainsawed in the back. Oh, that's got to be so upsetting. He did nothing wrong, that guy was just a knob, and then ran straight towards her, and she gets a chainsaw right in the jackson. Not where you want it. I'm going to put her in the far corner because it means that basically they can't all get to nice generators. They can't usefully use the time that they spend buggering around trying to save her. They've got to just deal with it. Meanwhile, I get to run around doing this. Also, that generator is degrading, and my Hex Ruin totem is right here. So I can sort of protect that at the same time. We've gone far enough away, so I imagine someone will try and make a run for her now. So we're going to come over and try and guard it. Wow, no one actually came. So either they were miles away, or they give zero fucks. To be honest, either one is quite good news for us. Oh, someone's come in. Yeah, here we go. Someone's gone for it. So now, if we rev this up, we should catch him. Hello, lady. Just check if she's the only one. Yeah, looks like she was. So we'll pick her up. And then whoever goes to save the other girl will go and chainsaw the piss out of them. So she's going to go. And then we'll nip over there and deal with them. Oh, both of them ran after. I imagine one of them would be pulled back. Anyway, we've got lots of them injured, so this is A-OK. We've still got no generators done, which is bit shocking. So he's on the boat, and this is a guy that fucked it up earlier, so I'm not particularly worried about him taking too much of our time. He's gone up top, so he might even break the upper pallet for us, which would be nice. Oh, he's going to be beautiful. And now he's got very few places left to run. Let's see if he gets lucky with a pallet here. No. One on the main boat by the looks of it, or did I just scare those off? I'm not entirely sure. Could have been either one. They've still not got a generator. If I was them, I'd be raging. Hey, they got one. And that means I get to see where they are. Afternoon, madam. Get rid of another pallet. They've saved the other guy so they can deal with him. Oh, really? Oh, okay, that's an alt. I didn't know. I haven't played this map much. Let's see if we can catch her with a long-range chainsaw. Not quite. But she probably doesn't know that that guy already broke all the pallets on the boat, so if she tries to run on there, she'll be pretty well fooped. Yep. Oh, there's a guy over here. Let's go and just say hello to him briefly. No pallet here, my friend. Oh, I didn't get around the corner. That's a tad upsetting. Oh well. Let's go and get this lady hooked up. Two of them have got the same name. I mean, they haven't found my Hex Ruin token yet, which must be very sad times. But the fact that two of them have got the same name suggests that they are going to run and try and help each other, as demonstrated here. And now this guy's fucked. Oh, borrowed time, fair enough. Let's let her go and deal with that, she has to anyway. These guys, at least two of these are a team. But it's interesting to know if more are, or if it's just the two. Like, we've got Hex Boomer, Hex OK Boomer, and Hex Bruh, and they're almost certainly working together. I mean, otherwise that'd be one mother of a coincidence. But they may have a friend with them or two, or it might just be the two of them plus the other two. We'll see. But again, we're getting so many hooks. Yeah, so many hooks and so few generators that it really doesn't overly matter. Just quickly check. Because of this steering add-on, I can literally just go around and around this ship. Hehe. Now we should catch this lady. What? I think I just landed on her head. Fuck. I mean, I could be 1-2 hitting these, but I just the chainsaw's so much more fun, and we're winning by such a considerable margin that this just seems much more entertaining. Hello. Hi there. Let's make her nervous. How's it going? Doing alright there? Having a good time? How about this? It shouldn't be that much fun, but it is. And I know I've got a memento mori. In fact, can I just drop a... Oh, fuck it. This is my basement anyway. Let's just whack her down in the basement. This might be her final hook, actually. Maybe it is. No, she's still got one more. We'd be playing Dead by Daylight. Well, instead we're playing Let's Go for a Ride with Billy, I suppose. Oh, they're all over here. Wow. I think I might start doing some memento mori in a second. This guy's injured and can definitely be moried. Oh! Not quite got the aim on with the old spinning hammers. Oh no, get back, you bastard, I'll break your legs. Yeah, fuck it. Again, why is this so boned? I don't know why this... Like, why are we just chainsawing some random bit of floor? And also, the graphics were really not fantastic there. Looking forward to getting all that sorted out. Anybody here? No. No, I mean I've seen the PG rating or non-PG rating stuff. They do not give a monkeys about that. Right, so they were here. Let's just damage it. They ran this way. And then back under and walked. Pretend we haven't seen her. And we have! Hey! Madam? How's it going? Now she's going to go for a save. Yep. Oh, there's nowhere to mind game on this. She's got a long leash on both sides. I can't sort of play her around the shorter side of it or whatever. I mean, shit. No point chainsawing it at that point. Have we already hooked this lot? Yeah, we've already hooked this one. Let's give her a quick... and more importantly, let's give the nearby floor some chainsaw action. God, that's just hilarious. Right, so there was one just here. Here. Interesting. Oh, they finally got the hex ruby. I think we'll just chainsaw this one if we can, or is she going to go for another loop? She's going for another loop, that is cheeky. Ah, not good. That was greedy. I shouldn't be trying to chainsaw her, I should just want to. I mean, this is just much more fun, isn't it? One. That guy's really fucking that up. Interesting. Alright, let's break these both. Doesn't look like anyone's up there. There's definitely one here though, we've just spotted her. So. Oh no. Don't be ridiculous. Like, when people do that, that's just embarrassing yourself. I'm kind of tempted to just slug her and let her go on the floor, because now this guy's got a chance to get the hatch. And he absolutely doesn't deserve it. Oh, he just went near the ship. Oh, because he knew exactly where the hatch was. Right, okay. Well, that was a good laugh. I enjoy playing Billy. GG. So what do we get? 26k. So, not quite a double level up, but not bad. Not bad. I think I fancy one as the Huntress, so we'll jump on the Huntress for a game, see what add-ons we've got available. Alright, what have we got? So, we can have locker auras, nobody gives a fuck. Reload time, again, 0 fucks given. Hatchet wind-up time. Or hindered for 15 seconds. Interesting. Let's go with wind-up. Wind-up time, who gives a... Slightly increases your movement speed while winding up your throw action. Yeah, alright, let's do that. And then extra hatchet. Do we care about that much? No. Let's go with hindered plus that. And then in terms of offerings, as usual, let's just take some blood points, because at the moment I am leveling up like hell. You enjoy the Huntress? Yeah, I like the Huntress. She's definitely one of my favourites. Now that they seem to have nerfed the Nurse quite a bit, the Huntress definitely seems to be one of the stronger killers in the game. And a lot of fun. I like her style as well. Her style and her backstory, little bits like that are all quite cool. So, yeah, Huntress definitely has a place. Also, the Nurse is a jarring viewing experience with a forced break on the gameplay. Yeah, I understand what you mean, but actually I used to love watching Nurse streams because... because the Nurse demonstrates skill really well, really demonstrates tracking, so you've got to really listen, and you've got to really track the blood and the marks, and you've got very little to go on in terms of line of sight. People lost block you a lot, you're slower. There's a real huge different amount of skill in the Nurse game. She's something a bit different in terms of killers, and because I played her a lot, I understood all of those elements really well, and so I could sort of tell when someone did something really, really good or not. And exactly as you say, so as a backseat gamer, especially if you haven't played Nurse a lot, all you get to see is her going and staring at the floor, and that isn't necessarily as fun as watching hatchets fly through the air. So I totally get that. But I think, you know, as of tomorrow, so we're expecting the new downloadable content to drop tomorrow, and then we'll be playing just the Japanese Samurai Oni dude and the Japanese girl that comes as part of that expansion. And trying to level them up like an absolute motherfucker. Oh, that was actually quite a short queue time, so that's nice. We're actually getting some killers in, killer games in, so I think we can stick with killer for a little while. These queue times are acceptable. Sometimes they get a little bit too long for a stream. You don't want to spend the whole stream just watching the queue time. Could you explain a bit how it works? Like, I get the basics, as in the killer is supposed to kill the survivors and the survivor is supposed to check the generators and get the fuck out. But on the way you talk about the game, it sounds like there's a lot more to the game. Yeah, okay. So, what we'll do is I'll try and see if I can do a game explanation while killing them all at the same time. I'll give it a go. You're right in terms of the basics. So yes, the basics are there are 8 generators on the map. The survivors need to power up 5 of them, which powers 2 exit doors. They can open one, both, as they wish, and then they just run out. And that gets them their 5,000 survivor points. But in order to win, you just need to score a certain amount of points. So as long as a survivor, for example, if you unhook lots of people and get lots of altruism points, and you repair lots of generators, and you waste a lot of the killer's time running him around in circles, losing him, and so on, then you score a lot of points for that, and you can actually score enough points to level up, like to rank up twice in a single game. Hello, we've got a survivor, so we're going to pretend we haven't seen him. He's going to hopefully hide. Then we're going to jump back in, throw a hatchet at him. Where did he go for? Did he try and backtrack round us? I know he's here. I know it for a fact. Cheeky bastard. Oh, there he is. So we've got him with the thrown hatchet, and we follow up with the melee hatchet. That's a great combination with Huntress because of the reduced cooldowns. So there are cooldowns on your attacks, and almost everything is to do with time pressure in this game. So while it sounds like you just... Oh, he's disconnected, so he was really unhappy. The whole game is about momentum and pressure. So as the survivors, everybody needs to be doing a job, and that job can be rescuing people that have been caught and hooked. It can be wasting the killer's time. That's a really important thing to do. So when you get caught, so I'm now here, I've obviously found that there's a survivor. So this survivor that's near here needs to try and make me spend as much time as possible finding them, or preferably never finding them, because if they do that, then every other survivor should be doing their job, which is repairing generators. That puts pressure on me. The more generators that are done, the more pressure is on me as the killer to make things happen. If there have still got 5 generators left to do, as they do now, then I'm sort of free to just hunt around as I wish. Whereas when the number of generators that need to be done go less and less, I have to start really thinking about protecting the generators that are remaining, patrolling a lot more. I can't spend as much time focused on one person. And if you look at these areas and these pallets, they can drop those pallets down to stun the killer and to sort of reset the chase. We've got a notification because someone's trying to defend this totem, and because I've got a perk which basically defends my totems, and I have 3 totems that have an active ability, so therefore I get a notification and then she's fucked. Oh, that was so close. I guessed which way she was going to go correctly, but the tree just got in the way. Oh, you bitch. Oh, she's going to flashlight me, you big slut. She should run for this window. Yeah, she did. I'm out of hatchets, so I cannot just throw one at her. It's actually quite important, so I'm going to reload. I can break the progress on these generators. So you can see that one's sparking away, which means its progress is deteriorating. So the whole thing is about progress. Me trying to lower their progress and them trying to make sure they keep it. Whenever they're injured, they've got to go away and heal themselves. So it looked like that girl got away, and that's really bad. Well, not really, because now she needs to go and heal herself or find someone else that can heal her. Just listening out for breathing, sorry. Which means that she's not doing generators. So anything I can do that puts pressure on the survivors so that they're not doing generators is fantastic. And anything they can do to waste my time, that is setting off noise notifications that are far away from me and then moving away so that I can't find them, or running around circles like this. So let's say they just run around, and then as I get to them, my totems do things. Normally, the killer's totems as default do not do anything. Hold on a second. Oh. Just 1 second. My totems in default don't do anything, but I've got... every player has 4 perks that they can use. I should have left. Dodge. How many hatchets have I got left? 1. Interesting. Haha! So my totems happen to do 3 things. So if you look in the bottom right, you can see 4 icons. Those are my 4 perks that I have available. The bottom perk is called Nurse's Calling, and it says that if they're trying to heal within a certain number of meters of me, I can see their outline, and therefore I can go and hunt them down. The one on the left is the most important one, actually. It's a totem, and while that totem still exists, while they haven't destroyed it, all the time that they're doing generators, they get these skill checks that they need to succeed in order to increase the progress on the generator. And every time that they only get a good skill check on that generator, the progress will actually regress. As long as that totem is still alive. So it's a really powerful one. It's one that makes them really want to go and deal with. Nailed it. Oh, get fucked. It makes them really want to deal with the... Hello, madam. What the fuck was she doing? They really want to deal with the totems. Then, the right one is another one that says, if I hook people like this, you'll notice that the number next to it just went to a 3. It's because I've got a certain number of stacks. And basically... Hold on a sec. God axe! Yes! As long as those axes... Where's she gone off to now? Hello. Well, I guess we win. So those basically make the skill checks harder for them to do as well, because when they're trying to do their skill checks, they get a little notification, and there's a little shing, and then the skill check comes up. And so they actually have like a moment's notice. Whereas now I've got 4 stacks of this, it's called Huntress's Lullaby. They get very, very little notice between the shing and the skill check. Which makes it much harder for them to do, and the more time... What the fuck? So she got incredibly lucky and managed to slip off the hook. Unlucky in that I have Nurse's Calling, so my bottom talent allows me to see injured survivors. Aura. Hello. Oh. GG. So, yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted. The totems, those 2 totems, the left totem and the right totem perk, are both really irritating for my opponents to deal with, and so they really want to deal with them. The top totem is a really interesting one because all it does is basically make my totems quite good. It makes it take longer to cleanse totems, all of them, including itself. It also gives me a notification whenever they start cleansing one. So 2 or 3 times during this battle, I got a notification when they started cleansing this totem. And the reason that I was able to hit that really long axe shot on the girl in the background over there was because I got a notification that she was trying to cleanse that totem. So the synergy that I've got with this build, this loadout build that I have, is that I've got all the totems and then I've got the perk that protects my totems. So that's sort of the synergy in my build as a killer. There are, I think, now more modern, better builds that you can use, but that's the one that I have been using with the Huntress for a long time, so I'm just kind of used to it. I think, Robin, are you going to stick around for a little bit? Are you going to be here for like half an hour or so? Because I realised that wasn't my best explanation, because when I'm actually playing killer, I have to focus all the time quite a lot, and I'm also trying to listen and look, and sort of it's quite distracting, and I don't think I really did that definition justice. Okay, oh, you just bought into Age of Sigmar, alright, fair enough. So when I'm playing Survivor, I'll hopefully be able to show you the other side of the game as well, and I can maybe sort of give a fuller view of what's going on. So what I mentioned about the level ups and stuff is that if you have a look, I got 19,000 blood points, and you need about 13, 14k to rank up. So if I show you this screen, yeah, you need that much to rank up, that much not to D-rank, and that much to rank up twice. And ranking up is based on a few things. So Gatekeeper is slowing down repair process. So the more that you manage to defend the generators and basically stop them from from completing generators, you get more points for that. Devout is the ability to actually just kill them. So actually getting as many kills as you can and getting all the survivors hooked and stuff gets you points from this. Malicious is the pressure one, so having them injured, having them interrupted, having them downed, having them hooked, just basically get them away from generators, which sounds similar to that one, but it's not quite the same. And then Chaser is specifically your ability to chase. So when you are particularly good at chasing, you get more points. Night Haunt probably going to Legion of Grief. So the more you play Dead by Daylight, the easier it gets. Definitely, but I think that's true for almost any game, but it's particularly true here because you need to know the map layout. And I don't mean like each individual map, because there isn't the maps are procedurally generated, but you need to know what kind of elements you can find on each map. So for example, there are certain parts of the map that are like this, so you know the T pieces, and you know that the survivor's going to run through there, jump through the window, run around that side, run through there, jump through the window, and run around like that. And then there might be a pallet that they can drop here, so they're going to run around, and whenever they think they're going to catch up with them, they'll run through the pallet, drop it on you, and then they'll try and run to the next loop. And basically they're often referred to as loops. So you need to, as a survivor, you need to sort of know where your next loop is, you need to get your timing right, and it is difficult because especially if there are different elements to your loop that the killer can sort of mind game you and switch direction really quickly. The other thing is that there's a couple of things that you might not have noticed because we're playing killer at the moment, is that the killer emits a red glow which goes out everything in front of them. So it goes onto the floor in front of them or walls in front of them, and that red glow sort of shows the survivors where you are looking and where you are coming in the very short term. So you can do little tricks with the killer, such as running backwards, so that your red glow doesn't come round the corner up until the moment that you come round the corner. So you can sometimes trick them by turning around and then running backwards. Similarly, the survivors cannot see their own tracks, so whenever they're sprinting they leave these red scratch marks behind them, and that's what the killer can use to sort of track them down a bit. But the survivor can't see their own tracks, but if they're a good player they'll know that they're making tracks, and they can try to use those to confuse the killer. One way that you can do that is that as you run around a corner, so you run round an L, for example, you run up there and then you run there, but when you get to here, you do a little 360 loop. You just run around in a circle, and it kind of leaves a little spread of marks all around, so it's not clear to the killer if he doesn't see you. If you break line of sight, he doesn't see which way you went. He sees marks everywhere, and it can sort of block your tracking, basically. So, yeah. Sorry, I don't know who that was, and I presume that they were just trolling, so I'll just get rid of them for 10 minutes, but if it turns out that it's just a War Machine player being a bit of a penis, then I don't want to ban them forever, so I'll give them a chance to come back in and say, whoa, hang on, I'm this guy. But most likely it's just a troll, and they'll fuck off. But you never know. I mean, I would absolutely not put it past, for example, Scandinavian Jesus to come in and just open up with that statement. So, don't want to just ban him off the mark. Good old Andreas. Well, these queue times are really surprisingly great, so normally I would be playing a bit more Survivor by now, not necessarily because I prefer Survivor, I prefer Killer, but because we'd have problems with the queue times, but this is wonderful, so we must be hitting a hot spot of play. So that's great. We get a different map, so we're playing on the farm map this time. Our totems are more likely to be quite spread out, which will be difficult to defend them. But it looks like we've got one here and one here. That's important for me to know as the killer. Oh, they're actually reasonably well spaced. Also, there's big open spaces on this map. Makes it good for some godlike hatchet throws if you're able to get them. Let's do a little bit less talking and a bit more hunting in this game. It. So that's a nice early kill. We'll get her hooked and then use her as bait. I really want to hook her here because my totems are nearby and stuff, but I don't have a lot of choice right now. So we're going to do a little trick, get some high ground so that we can see into the cornfields. Should be enough time for someone to try and save her. Wow, no one. These guys are a bit bastardy. Well, in that case, we'll have to just spread out, let them get the saves. Small possibility this is an arranged team. Unlikely based on the current effort, but oh, they immediately healed her up, which means they're all around here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. We see one. And we get her immediately, and a pallet, so that's good news. Could do with some hatchets, so as soon as we get this girl hooked up, we'll run back to this locker. So we've got 2 stacks of Huntress's Lullaby and all totems still up at the moment. This is a very good start. 5 gens. No real progress for them. No notifications so far. Alright, they've got it. Oh, they're immediately starting on that totem, and one of them's gone up top to heal. Okay, I'm more interested about protecting the totem, which I might. We've caught her in the knee, so arrow to the knee. Good old Skyrim strats. Oh, that was nipple glazingly close. Anyway, she's fooked. So we've managed to protect their totem. We'll get another hook and another Huntress Lullaby stack. We are spreading out the damage a little bit. It would be nice to get some kills rather than just injured, but we're getting the lullaby stacks. We're not losing totems just yet. I can live with it. Scratch marks here. A hit, which is clean. Oh, good dodge from her there. She is fucked now, though. Because I can just run up and melee her. I don't need to. Oh, I didn't see the pallet, and I really should have done. That is disappointing in a number of ways. Off she runs. Bad throw. Generally bad play. 2 hatchets left. We've just seen a tuck up here. There. That combination of moves was enough. So what we were doing there was we were spinning around to change my... Oh, she got the totem. That's enough. I'm going to make her pay for it really hard. I didn't want to let her get the totem, which she got Hex Ruin as well. Fuck. That's probably the best one. Although we're now getting Huntress's Lullaby up to the point where it's actually a real problem for them. And we've got 2 of them down, so they're going to waste time trying to heal those. And one of them's going to be hooked, and I think that's a second hook, so they've actually got to worry about that. It's good progress, this. They've still got 5 generators. They're still trying to deal with my... Oh, she's just sitting here. Is someone sitting around? Or are they going to go... I'm not sure what her teammates are going to prioritise here, which makes it difficult to decide what I should do. There we go. So she's fucked up. Now, the other girl is dying. I get this hook basically for free. I think this is this girl's second or third hook, so she's going to be dying. I know where that girl's going, which means she's not doing any generators, so I'm just getting a bunch of progress. I could even go for an absolute long bomb of a hook, hatchet, but it's so unlikely to work. I mean, I know where she is now, so... Nurse's Calling is just such a good perk. She's disconnected. So we know that they're going towards the other girl, most likely. So we'll head back over there. Interesting. Gen progress down a bit. Just taking a bit of a shot in the dark there. Hello, madam. So that is a great little trick because she doesn't get as far and I don't get as much of a cooldown fucker as a melee hit when I throw that hatchet. No. So you basically throw a hatchet from close range, even though you could melee them, and it's less of a cooldown than a melee attack. So you basically hatchet and then melee them, and you can chase them down a little bit better. It's a good trick. If you are new to playing Huntress, you should try and get that down. In addition, when you are throwing close range hatchets, because of the way hitboxes work, and because of the way that most good survivors will try to do little 360 loops around you, you are better to aim the hatchet low, like aim at their knees basically. You are much more likely to hit them if they're close, if you aim at the knees. So there's only one guy left, he's got 5 gens to do, and if I was him, I'd let her die, but instead, he's decided to be a hero, which is fine by me. Oh, there's 2 guys left, and this was an injured one. Right, I misread the... But right, okay. In that case, yeah, they probably should have tried for the same. But now this is this guy's last hook, and the guy that is now left alone should just try and get the escape hatch, because it's his only possible way of winning. And so I'm going to go to where it very often is, which is around this corner. But... did he find it? What? That was really quick. He must have been stood on that hatch waiting to go. Or he just disconnected or something, I don't know. I mean, we spanked them. We absolutely spanked them. So this guy just got upset because he got caught very early on. This guy must have disconnected as well, I suppose. Or he was AFK or something. And then these are the 2 that we chased around for ages. Well, I would suggest that it was elsewhere, but this is the last guy that was in the game. And he would have scored 5,000 points for a hatch escape, and he only scored 600. So, yeah, maybe an AFK timer. But, I mean, I'm just going to get in the queue again so we can have a chat while actually queuing. Am I going to play Huntress again? I think I am. I'm having a laugh with Huntress. One more Huntress. So... what it used to happen if someone was AFK, if a survivor was AFK for a certain amount of time, which didn't just mean that they made no actions, it meant that they stayed in one particular area without taking an objective, useful action for a length of time, then a repeated audio cue and visual cue would come up on them, and they would be surrounded by circling crows that would follow them for the rest of the game. So in other words, they'd just be screwed. And that was to deter people from just hiding, waiting for their mates to die, and then running for the hatch. But it was also just to make sure that the game wasn't endless with the killer looking for some AFK survivor that may have spawned in a weird spot. But it looks like they may have changed that somehow. Maybe he just went and hid in a closet for too long, and there was an AFK timer, exactly as you say, that timed him out. Really couldn't tell you. Let's pop an add-on in. Reload time at a locker. This is actually pretty good because if they the exhausted status effect means that a lot of effects that would otherwise allow them to sprint for any reason, so dead hard, sprint burst, balanced landing, lithe, all of these. Oh, let's take some blood point offerings. No point in taking anything else at the minute. So all of these things that would allow them to run faster. If you clip them with a thrown hatchet with the exhausted effect, it means for the next 30 seconds during the chase, they can't use those abilities. They can't trigger. So that could be pretty good. But I will just... I didn't explain the Huntress's lullaby very well, so I will leave the text there, and you can have a little read about what it does. The survivors can absolutely level up and gain perks in a similar way, yes. And, of course, if you think about it, per team, the killer team has 4 perks, and the survivor team has 16 perks. So, yeah, the 5-stack penalty is harsh. If you manage to get... If they don't get that totem during the duration of a whole game and you get 5 hooks before they find it, then, frankly, they deserve the punishment that they get. But the punishment is harsh, yeah. So survivor perks are frankly amazing, and there are lots of them that are all designed around changing the momentum of the game. And if you get a pre-made team, so guys that are speaking on Discord, for example, with perks that work well together, then the power of that is unbelievable. So if we, well, the flashlight used to be a thing about 18 months ago. It used to be every team had 4 flashlights and a bunch of perks that were designed to fuck with the killer. But now, as far as I can tell, the flashlight seems to be absolute shit. And so it's much scarier as a killer to face 4 toolboxes, because it means they're going to blast through generators and there's bugger all you can do about it. If we ever get some players, like Dead by Daylight, I think is currently on sale, so I think it's currently half price. I think you can get it for like €10. And if we ever get 4 players together, or even better, 5, then we can actually play custom games where we are, where we can like take turns being a group of survivors or the killer or whatever, and that can be really, really fun. This girl's. Oh, I'm so bad. I'm so horrendously bad. I apologise. That was embarrassing. So yeah, if we get some players, and even if we don't get 5, if we get 4, then we can just go on the ladder and play together as 4. I know for a fact that Matthias has already bought it, so he's in. But I also already know that he's dreadful, and that if we team up with him, we are likely to just get fucking killed. I'm largely joking, but also slightly not. Oh, what? When you hold the mouse 1 button as the killer, you sort of charge up a lunge attack, which gives you a little burst of speed, but once you miss that, you've got quite a cooldown on your attack timer. Has she climbed back over? Oh, she hasn't. Now she has. Now she's back over, and it should have blocked her now. Got it. Sadly, they are getting all of my totems during this time, but that's what should have happened last game. Like, totems are designed to be a little thing that slow people down at the start, make sure they don't get too much generator progress, and allow me to get the injury train rolling. If I actually manage to keep some totems alive as well, then that's just a bonus. Well, the other thing is that, like, if you watch, I sound like a salesman, but if you watch me play Survivor, I can at the very least teach you the basics, and hopefully I'm a little bit better than that, and I can teach you a couple of tricks to be better, and then when we're working together, we can hopefully hurt some people. Also, being on Discord is a huge advantage. The game is designed so that survivors do not have communication, and that they need to use perks and stuff to see where each other are and to know positions and that. If you as a team are able to simply talk to each other, then of course you don't need to use those perks and you just have a massive advantage. Now we are in a very, very strong survivor loop here. She can run around here, use this window, use this pallet. Okay, I mean, getting rid of that pallet is fantastic. She should not have used that. But the fact that someone's injured should send another survivor to go over here and save this girl. So I'm actually going to abandon her. Yep, good, it's worked. Missed. I'm going to use the hatchet again though, because if I do get it, then I can follow up with a melee attack reasonably quickly. She didn't get far enough ahead of me, and she's fucked. Yeah, being able to communicate is just such a big thing. As long as you've got people that are vaguely intelligent and are able to communicate, then you can really... And also, if you've got 1 or 2 good players on your team or some decent perks or whatever, it all stacks up. So, they rescued her from here. Presumably they just ran straight away from me, and they will try and heal somewhere over here. One of them probably looped around to go and save that girl. Throw a hatchet to discourage. Yep, guy here. And a girl, wow. We can let them unhook because I'm not that bothered and I want to catch this girl. Wow. We all agreed to talk Lebanese. I'm up for learning Lebanese, let's do it. What's Lebanese for? Scared of you suck a big bag of dick, stop getting us all killed. I think we're going to need that one, like, we're going to need some shortcuts. Really? Hello, madam. This girl wants to just waste some time running around in front of me. That's great. That means she's not doing generators. Learn. Do not do this. Unless you have a specific perk or a very, very good reason to run around, you should either be healing someone, doing a generator, or otherwise putting pressure on a killer. You should never just be running around going, la-di-da, look at me, I'm not afraid. Because the killer will just be sitting there thinking, well, I don't really give two fucks if you're afraid. Because you're not doing anything useful, and I'm just going to kill you a bit later on. And as much as survivors love to show off, and my god they do. Run around the corner backwards, and back again. She should go over there. Now, where the fuck did she just go? Alright, fair play, she just lost me. I was trying to mind game her with running backwards around corners and stuff and just lost line of sight of her completely. Bravo. Bravo, fair enough. Evening, Simon. Hello. What the fuck? Oh, fuck it. Let's just hit her. Come on. Go for the window. You know you want to. No. Well, if you run away from that house, I'm going to screw you. Oh, beautiful. Don't know why she just cut herself off. I'm going to go and get some hatchets. She's injured. We've got one of them dead. She's tracking along this wall. Backwards. And face axe. Evening, Gezo. How you doing? You've installed the game and you really suck at it. Well, that's great. Come and join our team. I think we've got a pretty good standard of suckage going on. Do they leave a trail when they're injured or when they're running, or both? Both. So when they are injured, they leave a trail of blood. There are some perks that make it that they bleed more or that the blood is more visible. And they also make a lot of noise. So I'm talking a lot through this game, which is making it much harder for me to play as the killer, because normally when I'm playing alone, I'm completely silent and I'm listening out for the survivors breathing, I'm listening out for their footsteps, I'm listening out for the sound of them working on generators or totems. There are lots of little audio cues that you can pick up on, and I'm having to sort of just be a bit more aggressive in the way that I'm playing this time. But they also leave these scratch marks that you can see. So behind them as they sprint, only when they're sprinting, when they're walking they don't leave any marks, but as they're sprinting they leave those marks, and it tells me as the killer that someone's been here, and then I can follow the marks. There are again perks that increase the duration that they stay there and blah 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 blah. So tracks and blood are very important. I'm a little bit surprised. Oh, there we go. We've got her. So we've seen her. We're going to pretend we haven't seen her. She's going to come behind us. We're going to pull out a hatchet. And then fuck her up. So there are lots of little tricks that you can do as the killer. So if you spot someone, you know, pretend not to. You can run backwards around corners. You can, I don't know, you just get a game sense for it. There is a lot of skill to this game, and I've got over 600 hours playing it. So I've had enough people just beat me into death that I've sort of learned from them, learned from those shameful experiences where you try something with the killer and you just fuck it up and you just get absolutely shamefully embarrassed and all four of them live. Like, I've had so many horrific losses that I've learned from that I've got a bit better at the game. Like, you will just lose and get teabagged. You'll have, like, when you're playing Survivor, you'll just have, when you're playing Killer, you'll just have 4 survivors running around you in circles with a pallet, just teabagging at you because they know they're better than you. And it takes all of those experiences and working out, like, yeah, but why? Why are they surviving? Why can they do that? What did I do wrong? Always trying to improve. Yeah. Okay. Nailed it. Can we nail the next one? Oh, she went the other way. Tracking a little bit. We're forcing her to stay in the middle, and that gives her the hit, I think. Yeah, it is. It's very... Yeah, I think wargamers are good at getting into Dead by Daylight because we are no strangers to just having the shit kicked out of us for a couple of months. And then finally you sort of learn to be the one doing the kicking. Learning the maps as well, so you just need hours played just to learn the maps and stuff like that. Well, that's because you're a granddad, Scary. No one else does. I feel like by saying that, your kids just got one step closer to having kids. Oh. We've got to try and find this guy or find the hatch. So now that there's only one survivor left, an escape hatch has opened up. And it makes a noise, and he's looking to find it so he can jump out of it and escape, and I'm looking to find it so I can close it and then hunt him down. And it's a little bit lame, but oh my god. Oh, that's got to be so upsetting. Look how close he is. Oh, so he was hoping to use a perk called Adrenaline, which is that when the exit gates get powered, which happens when I slam that hatch closed, he gets healed. So he was hoping to use that to get away, but I kind of knew that that's what he was planning to do. So I injured him, let him, then downed him. So when he went for the hatch, closed the hatch, and then immediately smacked him, so he can't get away. So we got a hell of a lot of points there. 32k is the maximum, and if you get it, you'll rank up twice. Oh no, we did rank up twice. Maybe at the higher ranks, these actually move up a little bit. So we're currently ranked 13. You start off at rank 20. The best is rank 1. And at this rank, you only need to get this many points in order to rank up twice. So we just what's called 2-pipped, because these are pips, and there are 4 pips in this rank to rank up. But we really smashed that game. That was particularly good. Right, we seem to have quite a few people in the chat, which is nice. Good evening all, hope you're well. Let's have a little vote then for which killer you would like to see me play next. So we've just played lots of games of Huntress, so I will rule her out. So your choices are Trapper, puts down traps, bear traps, and so on. Wraith, invisible guy. Hillbilly, chainsaw guy. Nurse, teleporting crazy nurse lady with a bone saw. What does everybody fancy playing? Power attacking your own stuff was dumb as hell. No, it was not dope, it was ridiculous. The very idea of it, and also the rules involved and judges and stuff. Jesus Christ. So we've got one for Hillbilly, one for Nurse. So next vote gets to break the tie. Do we want to see Hillbilly or do we want to see Nurse? Vote now. The level 1 guy is dreadful, I don't like him, and I have no intention of playing him. I will be playing a level 1 killer as soon as the new expansion comes out. I'll be playing the new Japanese killer, and he'll be level 1 for all of about 5 seconds until I dump this million blood points into him. So, Hillbilly or Nurse, what do people want to see? I'll play one and then I'll play the other, so it doesn't really matter, but which one would you like to see first? Oh, let's just hit ready while we're waiting. Revive and Rise Gators. That all sounds horrific. Alright, well, since we haven't had a third vote to break the tie, I'll break the tie, which is that I do love playing Hillbilly, and I know that Scary's not a huge fan of Nurse, so while he's here, let's run out the Hillbilly first, and then we'll give Nurse one little go after that, and then we'll see where we go from there. While I've got a few of you on, first of all, very much appreciate you joining the channel, very kind, and hope you're enjoying the content. Couple of things. One, we've got a hardware upgrade coming, so if you can sort of mentally picture the quality that we've got now, I would love to know from probably Wednesday evening stream if you notice a particular difference. So I think on Wednesday I won't be playing this game, I'll be playing a puzzle game, but on Thursday night, if any of you are here on Thursday night, I'd love to hear if you see any visible difference in the quality. Because obviously that's what I'm looking to improve. Second, if you've got ideas for games that you think would particularly be good to stream or that you'd like to see, I've just had another guy come to me today with another idea for streaming, and I thought it was interesting. I do listen to people, I do take advice on board. I don't play everything that's advised, but I certainly take it on board, so do drop me a message and so on like that. And the last thing is, if you've got any mates that you know are gamers or particularly spend a lot of time watching and absorbing content, it be it YouTube or whatever it is, please do send them my way. Obviously, it's not your job to sell me to them. I'll do that. But I've reached all the contacts that I can personally reach. And so, basically, in order to grow the channel, in order to sort of be able to put content out for more people, I need your help. So basically, any friends that you think might be interested, just send them a link, put in a good word, and you know, I'll do the rest. I'll do my best to entertain them. And if they don't stay and they don't enjoy it, that's absolutely fine. You know, no worries. So I know a couple of you have already done that for me, and I much appreciate it. So thank you very much. War Machine Tactics. Yeah. And I very much appreciate that as well. You know, the viewing hours and so on are metrics that are measured on Twitch. And while I'm not that bothered about metrics necessarily, I am always keen to be able to put stuff out there. And I am working on getting the YouTube content a little bit more organised and a little bit easier to enjoy. So if you're ever on a long train ride for a War Machine tournament, you know where to come for random and unlimited content. As for games, really highly recommend Bastion. All right, I will. I'll admit first of all that I haven't actually checked out the trailer for that yet. I'm making a note as we speak to go and have a look afterwards, and I will check it out. Thank you for the tip. Alright, so we're now playing Hillbilly. Hillbilly is a relatively simplistic killer. He doesn't have any massive sort of tricks up his sleeve, other than you need to basically always make a choice with Hillbilly. Are you going to go for a 1-2 hit with your melee weapon, or are you going to try and run that extra time to catch up to them and get close to them in order to basically rev up your chainsaw right next to them and murder them? You also can use the chainsaw to move long distances, but on a map like this, that's, as you can see, there's almost no long straight paths to go down for the majority of the map. That functionality of the chainsaw really isn't much in our favour. So again, we're going to pretend that we've not seen this guy. We're then going to come around here and, oh, he's already legged it. He didn't have the nerve. That's unfortunate. This is a terrible, terrible map for the Hillbilly. This guy's fucked up now. Oh, what? This map is awful for this guy. I'm going to have to start 1 and 2-ing people, because otherwise we are going to get wrecked here. We have already wasted far too much time on that one guy. So, is it worth degenerating that? Probably not. That one's not getting going yet. Oh, someone just hiding here who bottled it. That's good news. So 1 pallet less in the world is good. Odd pathing choice. He's running upstairs, but then he's running straight downstairs again. His pathing leaves something to be desired, but my fucking aim does as well. Good lord. Right, we're going to have to play a style where we control the game via 1 hook and 1 location. So we are going to hook this guy. We're going to pretend we haven't seen that guy just on the right of the doorway. But he didn't stay around, so that's unfortunate. Hello. Well, that got rid of that pallet, so that's great news. So we're now going to try and sort of expand out, destroy pallets from this area, control this area, and basically constantly rehook back into that corner. Marvellous. We're going to leave her, we're going to slug her. We call it slugging because she's just crawling around on the floor like a slug, leaving a blood trail. But while she's doing that, she is not repairing generators. So we have crippled their ability to... Hello, madam. What If he wants to take his place, I'm fine. So again, what we've done is we've brought them all into this corner. We've got them injured. We've got them scared. We've got rid of some pallets. And now we're just going to fuck them all. They're going to try and revive, which I'm fine with. Oh, balls that up so hard. So, this is on me. We've now lost control of this situation and we really needed to hold on to it because we did a very bad early game setup. Fortunately, this girl is running out of spaces to hide. We've got her again. She might have a talent called Decisive Strike, so she may now just break out of our grip and stop us from doing this. But we're going to be basically playing hook control here a little bit. Fortunately, they haven't taken advantage of the mistakes that we made, and we've still got 5 generators that they need to get done. So I'm a little bit surprised. I would have expected us to be punished a bit harder. That was a bug. I just chainsawed her. She should be very upset. She just got chainsawed through a wall. She did not deserve that one bit. Thank you. Let's go and break that one. Right, they've probably got used to the fact that I'm hanging around near her now, so they should be running off and doing generators. But instead they just stick around because they're bad. Someone should be going for this girl. Dead. Nobody on this gen. Alright, so we got rid of one. Pretty much. Oh, someone did just... Oh, they're actually going for her. Interesting. Borrowed time, that's a very annoying perk. It means we've got to go and hit her again now. But once we do, she's dead and gone. I would imagine she's going to loop around here. Yeah. Let's break the progress on this a bit. Oh, nice. So she went for a flashlight save, but the girl actually had Decisive Strike. That was smart as well, nice. This girl's actually pretty good. The other ones are... Oh, she fucked that up though. But yeah, basically the other girl used Decisive Strike to make me drop her anyway, so that girl's effort at the flashlight save was kind of sadly wasted, when actually she did a pretty good job. She might have got that. I haven't had someone do a flashlight save in so long that I've stopped positioning against it, so that's my own fault. when one survivor tries to distract you that obviously, it's usually for a reason, and you're obviously much better. Not chasing the one that wants you to chase them. Don't play to survivors' comfort zones. And we now get an extra hook. He's injured, so let it go. Swap this one up on the hook. This is an advantage of playing Billy, is he's very good at playing around hooks. This goes. Giving us a free hit, so we'll take that and say thank you, man. Most people go, they think that you're going to go around the third time, so you did waste a good amount of time, but that loop is not super safe. You can't... Whoa, didn't position for the flashlight thing again. Not concentrating. Fucking hell. She panicked, so it's okay. So now this time we'll position against it. So we're going to put ourselves up against this wall, which makes it incredibly hard for this silly girl to do what she was trying to do. And then she went and gave us a free kill as well. So appreciate that. Last guy's over there. Let's go and say hello to him. We can just leave the other one to slug. Oh, no, no. Really? Balls of steel on that guy. Fucking... Right, that's that. Well, not the best play from me at all. My start wasn't good. I got too focused on one survivor, and that survivor was a reasonably decent player. It's this guy that we're now hooking. In addition, I let them escape. Hang on a sec. I got it. I let them escape when I had the first hook pressure, and I had them all sort of grouped up in a corner, and was taking advantage of that pressure. I let them escape and let them sort of reset. Fortunately, I immediately caught one and sort of restarted that whole frenzy, and that's what got us to this position. But that was a mistake. And then twice I totally forgot about the flashlight saving girl, and didn't position for it. So basically, imagine that there's a body here, and I just pick up the body facing this way. It allows her to run around me, it allows her to stand anywhere there and just flashlight me in the face. Whereas if I just sort of get her there and then pick her up here, it means that the girl would have to sort of run specifically from wherever she was round to here specifically, and then try and aim at my face. And as soon as I hear her coming there, I can sort of look this way, and she can't get round me because my body model blocks a lot. So you definitely need to position against flashlight saves, especially if you know one of them has one. I mean, obviously, if none of them have a flashlight, don't bother. And I haven't had someone use it for so long that I just didn't even bother. My error. So we get all four of them. We can select a challenge. We may as well select a killer one. We got lots of points. We don't need to check it really. So let's pick a killer challenge. Damage the same generator twice. Sacrifice a survivor during the endgame collapse. Or sacrifice 5 survivors. 5 survivors is easy. Let's just do that. So we don't need to think about any specific goals. Ready up. Switch to nurse. And we'll pick some stuff. So remove a blink charge. Increase her movement speed. No, that's not actually any good. That's also bad. Maximum blink range and maximum blink charge time. Yeah, that's good. Extra fatigue from chain blinks, good. And I don't think we've got anything here that's any good, so we don't need to worry about that. Right. Blood web. We actually want to spend it on Survivor, but we can't yet, so let's just spend it on Billy. We're close to 1 million, so I don't want to just waste blood points, so let's just spend some on Billy while we're here. So we've spent a bunch on Billy, leveled him up a tiny bit, it doesn't really matter. Let's just see if there's any perks that matter on him. Whispers, Iron Grasp, no, none of that really matters. So yeah, we've spent some, now we'll switch back to the nurse. I'm just ready up. I can't remember who requested nurse, who was it? Oh, Robin. So, yep, you get to see Nurse now. She was my favourite killer for a long time, but it seems that in the 18 months or so that I have not been playing, they have nerfed her quite a bit. Her blink range and blink speed seem to have dropped a tiny bit. Is there an MMR rating in the matchmaking, or is it totally random? There is a... so this rating in the top right, so for example I'm rank 13, and I will at peak times be matched up with people pretty much around that rank. Obviously as you move off peak, you will start to meet people at different ranks. There are a lot of things connected with survivors who are playing with friends, so you'll sometimes have one survivor that's really good and one survivor that's not great, so... No, a bell isn't tolling when she blinks. That is the Wraith, who's the invisible guy. He tolls a bell to sort of show that he's going into or coming out of invisibility. She just does this sort of really breathy scream. This sort of... but it's a tiny bit less demented and a bit more supposedly scary. Used to be very good at all of her blink timings and everything, and it made her a very, very scary and difficult to play against killer, but as I say, they do seem to have either made her a bit worse, or I've just not played for so long that she feels a lot worse. Hit. Now with this girl I go. Oh, I really thought she'd turn back towards me. Oh, she dropped the pallet though, that's great news. Appreciate that. So she's my obsession. Let's see, is our... whoa. Alright, looks like we may have a little pre-made here, because we've got some people who are quite interested in saving her immediately and knew exactly where she was. So let's regress this pressure that they've got on me, and then we'll assume that they're going to hide just on the other side of this window. The speed with which they came to fuck with me really suggested they were going to be very aggressively defending her, which has made me very aggressively defend her. But now they're not actually doing that. That's really interesting, actually. I like that. I might have to remember that next time I'm playing Survivor. Pretending to move away. Then they go for it. And we get her immediately. Nice. This time I'm going to position away from flashlight. Oh, she uses decisive strike. That's very annoying. Stuns you for so long. She's ready for the window. God, that is quite tricky to land those blinks exactly. Fuck this place. The nurse is so tricky. Oh, here we go. But yeah, Decisive Strike is an amazing perk, and it wastes so much of the killer's time. Again, we're positioning against a flashlight block by facing that tree. They still haven't found my Hex Ruin totem, so that's good. That's probably slowing them down a bit. Let's check for progression here. They've got a little bit. We'll progress that way. We're now getting some pretty bad lag, which makes playing Nurse almost impossible. So that's unfortunate. But I will deal with it the best I can. Tracking visually down pretty well there. Nice. Alright, they're getting a little bit more pressure than I would like. I didn't position against flashlight there, so that was my bad. Looks like we've got a little bit of progression here, so that's nice. We can control this space and regress this at the same time. We've got a full health survivor on the hook, so sadly that does mean they can afford to let her hang there for quite a while without help, and it won't affect them too negatively. They're going to go and rescue her, but I'm going to press this and hopefully punish them a little bit for that. Oh, that's bad news. With any luck, it was the blonde girl that was... Nice. The blonde girl that was doing the generator behind us, and that means that that regression will continue to punish them for as long as they don't repair it. Have they tapped that generator to get it going again? It looks like they might have. No, they haven't. So we know that there's a blondie over there. Let's see if anyone stayed around here. Yes, so someone has stayed around here. There she is. Whoop, whoop. And got her. Follow the blood. Fucked it up. They still haven't unhooked that girl even though I'm chasing this one. That is their mistake. I don't appear to be able to blink because of lag. It's so incredibly hard to time it to just blink over one set of these tracks, not two. But we got it. I just wanted to sort of make her comfortable with running about and then try and get it. So we're down to 3 generators and we've got quite a few hooks. I think we've got at least 2 people who are down to their last hook. Well, that was one of them, so she's out. Let's quickly regress this. That gen's okay. This gen's still going, and we've now spotted someone. And they're injured. This is fantastic news. Hello. She panicked. And my basement is just here, so I can pop her right into the back here. Oh, I didn't even need to. That was her last hook. Damn. So, 3 generators to go, but only 2 survivors remaining. That is generally considered pretty much in my favour. Why on earth didn't that go through? Let's just regress all the progress that they've made on all the generators. There aren't enough of them to constantly make sure that it's going back up, and then I'll be able to hunt down the ones that I actually do try to repair. Good. Nice footwork. That's a nice second time. Certainly not so nice that side. So I don't know what she was doing. Looked like she was just trying to get a bit too smart for her own good. The first one was nice, like the fancy footwork, but then once she made me miss, she should have used that to then, you know, start running away. Don't just dance around like a fairy. So she's full health. The other guy now needs to decide: is he going to come and try and rescue her, or is he just going to hope to God that she dies and that he manages to find the hatch before I manage to find him or the hatch? If they're friends and on Discord, he will obviously go for the save. If they're not, which is more likely, then he may well just choose to let her die. I'm kind of okay with either one. With her on the hook, there's no way they're going to get... It looks like she has... Oh, here we go. We've actually found the girl. Yeah, the hatch only opens once there's 1 survivor left. Now that she's bleeding, she really is fucked because I've got lots of talents that allow me to see really well. Oh, I didn't get that quite right, but it doesn't matter. She's not going to escape unless she gets really lucky. And the hatch happens to be right here, but it doesn't seem like it, and we've got her immediately, so that's great news. And there's a hook just here. So that's her 4-man. Whew. Considering those lag spikes in the middle, that was a tricky game. So now that she's the only one alive, there is a hatch somewhere that's opened up, and theoretically, oh, there it is. So yeah, she could have jumped out of that, or I can press spacebar and close it, which I'll do now because it just gets me some points, And if I close the hatch, then basically a timer starts before she's just going to get killed by the entity, and the whole world gets destroyed. Or she can then, when I close the hatch, it automatically powers the exit doors for her, so then she's got a chance on her own to try and get to an exit door, get it open, and get out before I kill her. Either way, it's sort of in the killer's favour. So none of them leveled up, even though this girl had a pretty damn good flashlight. Christ. Okay, well, I'm glad you didn't get much chance to use that, but the other guys weren't using much of a item set at all. And as you can see, yeah, the ranks at this time, when we're on pretty peak time and there's lots of players, I'm 12 and we're up against an 11, a 12, and 2 13s. So it's pretty fair in terms of the ranking system, I would say. I'm just going to spend some blood points quickly. If someone escapes through the hatch, is it a win for you or them? So in this game, there's no such thing as a win. The game itself doesn't tell you what a win is. All it tells you is if you as a player ranked up or not, and if you ranked up twice. So a specific win is definitely if you manage to get 32,000, which is the maximum you can score. 8,000 in each of the 4 categories on which you are scored. If you get that and you get two rank ups in one game, you definitely win, sure. But the game still doesn't say, like, win. And it's possible for several players to win. So let's say that you're the killer and you get lots of chasing and killing and hooking and murdering, and you kill 3 of them. And on the survivor team, you've got 2 players that spend a lot of time running you around, and another player that's basically unhooking them and doing a load of generators and survives some chases with you and eventually jumps out the hatch. He's going to score like 24,000 points or something, and he's definitely going to have a really high blood point game. He's going to survive, and he's going to rank up. So theoretically, he won, but you also won. So it's not necessarily a case of one person winning or not. As from the start, I thought you might be paired against someone with a lot more skills and perks than you. No, generally speaking, from the start, you'll be playing against people who are of a similar level to you. You may well find the occasional smurf, like people that are way better than their rank suggests, or people that haven't been in the game for a while. So technically speaking, I'm not a rank 13 killer. I was a rank 1 killer for a very long time, so people that are meeting me are at a slight disadvantage at the moment, but I haven't played the game for 18 months, so I'm probably not rank 1 now, but I'm probably not rank 13 either, so, you won't always get total fairness, but the game does its best, and they've been improving it day after day. The developers are really putting a lot of time and effort into the game, so. Right, let's have one as Survivor. We've been playing Killer for quite a while. So we're going to jump in as Survivor. I need to spend some blood points, and I need to get a perk on this Bill guy, because I need to get it for my other survivors. So let's just quickly spend some blood points. It doesn't really matter what on. Let's just get them spent a bit. I just need to level him up, and then once I level him up enough, I will get access to one of his perks that is very, very good. It's quite a meta survivor perk at the moment, and I want to unlock it on my new survivor that we'll get when we buy the new DLC. At least I hope so. Now I kind of want to play Left 4 Dead. Yeah, I know the feeling. Right, that'll do. We've spent quite a few blood points there. So, what can we use with this guy? Yeah, blood points again. We just want to level everything up, get as many perks and stuff as we can. So on this guy, on my survivor, I've got a perk that, sadly my perks are all like level 1 and 2. They're not very leveled up. This guy's only level 23. My other survivor's 50, but again, I want to level this guy up, so this is the guy we're playing. For now, just because we can. So I've got self-care, so I can heal myself. I've got borrowed time, which means that if I unhook someone when the killer's really nearby, if he then hits that person, she doesn't immediately die. She's got 20 seconds to run off and heal herself, which is just so annoying for the killer to have to deal with. That's this one. I've got decisive strike. That's that one where if they hook me and then they grab me again, they manage to get me again within 40 seconds, then I can basically try and pass a skill check and just stab them and run off, so it stuns them for 5 seconds. It's another big momentum thing. Dead Hard says that when I've been damaged I then get the ability to, I have like an active ability that I can pop at any time, and it makes me dash forward, and I'm immune to being hit at that point. So again, basically I wait until I run around and round and round and round and round, and when the killer finally gets to me and is going to finally kill me, the idea is that I then at that point dead hard and sprint away and then manage to sort of get to the next pallet, the next loop, and then loop him for even longer. So all of my setup is designed to make me as irritating as possible. And if I was a particularly good survivor, I could abuse this sort of setup to just run him around for so long that his game would essentially be over. But there's two problems with that. One is I'm not good enough to do it, and I've not practiced enough recently. But two is that it relies on your other survivors taking advantage of the time that you give them. So if you run a killer around and really make them work for it, and they have to spend ages trying to kill you, you want your survivors around you to do like 3 or 4 generators and just completely end the game. But if they're all going, oh, I can hear the heartbeat, I'm going to just hide behind this rock, motherfucker, you're just wasting time, and you are not getting anything done, you're not putting any pressure on, you're not getting any progress. Or you get those survivors that are running around, that are walking carefully around even though they can see that there's a chase going on somewhere else, and then trying to scavenge in chests, and so just fuck off and go and do generators. So at low levels, playing survivor can be very, very frustrating. At higher levels, playing killer can be very, very frustrating. We are somewhere in the middle, so we'll see. I think my survivor is around the same rank as my killer. Note that your survivor rank and your killer rank on the ladder system are not the same. They're not linked at all. You can be a rank 1 killer and a rank 20 survivor. And I think that's correct. I think that some people are much, much better at one or the other, and that the skills are quite different, and that while obviously playing one teaches you some part of how to play the other, they are different enough where they should have different rankings, and that I think it's correct. Alright, so... bollocks. Disconnection. If you get a disconnect during the loading thing, it just ends the game, gives you all a few blood points so you don't get pissed off and write on the Steam chat, and then we jump in again. So, yeah, we'll jump back in, no worries. The good news about playing Survivor is that your queue time is usually unbelievably short, so... Just do another quick blood web while we wait. Oh, that was quick. Level 24. We need to level this guy up quite a bit to get his to allow me to share his perks with my other killers. That's the reason that I'm with my other survivors. So I'm leveling this guy up not because I intend to play him, but because he is the guy that has the perk Borrowed Time, which is currently one of the best perks in the game to play as survivor. And so I'm trying to level him up in order to be able to sort of share that perk, which means not that my other survivors automatically get this perk or something, but that they're simply able to find it on their blood web. And I want to get that as quickly as possible so that when we get our new survivor from the new expansion that's coming out probably tomorrow, I want to have Borrowed Time available so that she can get her perks plus Borrowed Time and some of the other ones that I've already unlocked. And it should give us quite a well-rounded survivor to sort of level up and almost feel a bit of progression, because we'll get to play her from level 1 all the way up to level 50, and the same with the new killer, and that should give us a good experience, I think. The survivors are a lot less unique than the killers. The killers offer a very different play experience. The survivors just offer aesthetics and likelihood to have certain perks, but honestly, generally speaking, when you're playing Survivor, you want to have a mix of perks from different survivors. Yeah. They are not necessarily so well known. It's not something like the it's not like a well-known horror thing. It is the Oni, so like a Japanese shogun samurai demon thing, and some Japanese chick on a motorbike. I don't recognize what film or series she's supposed to be from. The killer looks really strong, really good, and really fun. The survivor, the survivor just looks pretty nimble, and she offers a couple of new perks that could be really strong or not. So we'll try and develop a playstyle around those new perks. Oh shit, biscuits. Yep, he's seen me. I have absolutely no idea what this guy does, so we are just going to have to... What is he doing? What on earth is he doing? Does he get something from doing this? Like, does this killer benefit from long chases? He's just fucked. I don't understand. I don't even need to drop that pallet, I can just run up here. I don't know if that killer is terrible or if the player is terrible or some combination of the above. But that was dreadful. I do not know what he was doing. Now he's getting a bit closer than I would like. Well, fuck it. I'm still waiting to see what this special flower head opening killer thing is supposed to do that's particularly good, but he's not doing anything yet. He's just run around in a circle and then got one hit on me, which is... Demigorgon, right, okay. Well, Demigorgon seems demi-shit. Awful. It has no eyes, so you can really blame it. I imagine that the player is not just looking at a black screen. sucks so much. I haven't played Survivor in ages. I need to concentrate. There we go. I would love to try every killer once, but all the killers that I don't play are the ones that I don't own the expansion DLC for. Whoop, 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 whoop. So I simply cannot play them because I don't, I haven't paid for the expansion. So the expansion that comes out tomorrow, I intend. Oh, we're all here. We're literally all here. Look, I'll take the killer away. You deal with it. He's gonna chase me, and you. Oh, fucking hell, he didn't. She got his ass a strike off. Nice. I managed to hide behind the generator, and he's gonna go and chase them. And then I'm gonna do this generator. And this guy had the same idea. Right under his nose. Oh, he's coming back though, that's unfortunate. Whoop! It is. Time to leave. How on earth did he lose me running around in a circle? Seriously. That's just embarrassing. Oh, he's got me again, but... And he's lost me. And now he's got to go and deal with the doors being powered up, so he's going to have to go and try and defend those, which gives me time to heal myself, and then hopefully my allies will open up one of the doors for me, and I can just go and run out of it. Okay, so they've opened one of the doors a bit too quickly, honestly. That is actually genuinely a problem, because now the entity is going to kill us all by the time that timer at the top goes down. I'm healing myself incredibly slowly because I've only got level 1 of this self-care perk, and I don't have any healing items, and so now, where the hell is the door? Fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. Hello, killer. What? Fuck it. I'm out. Looks like he'd worked out that he'd already lost, so he just thought he may as well let us score at least or something. Don't know. I never understand that stuff. I personally just kill everyone I can possibly get my hands on, even if I'm losing. So we didn't do much to help our allies in that game. We were mainly just working on objectives and getting the hell out of there. He might have just had a black screen. Maybe he just couldn't see a goddamn thing. That's true. I genuinely don't know. So we got a buttload of points. That's fine. That's good. He had... What's he got? While repairing generators, they get exhausted. Right, okay. I mean, that... I don't know. Let's just say I was not entirely impressed with the Demogorgon's performance there. So we'll go straight away again. What do we need to load out here? Let's put in some. Gonna get some tea. Alright, guys, catch you soon. We will have to unlock this, just because otherwise it will just keep coming back, and we don't want that. Don't give a damn about that. I do like that though. Don't care about that. Cheap one. That gets us 125. What does the brand new part do now? It used to do some... Ooh, hello. Engineer's Toolbox. God damn. Alright, so... Intricate mechanical part feels oddly out of place. It's clean and shiny as if straight out of the factory. Toolbox repair action is replaced with install brand new part. Installing the brand new part will automatically repair 15% of a generator over 5 seconds. During the installation, you'll be faced with 2 difficult skill checks. Successfully hitting a skill check will result in an additional 5%, up to a total of 25%. So in other words, you get to do like a mini game. You install this brand new part, then you get basically 25% of the generator done quite fast. I'm pretty sure he means the beverage. This brand new part sounds fun. I might buy that and give that a go. That item, that add-on used to be super broken. It was literally just you walked up to a generator and went completed. You know, your brand new part and your toolbox were gone, but you just literally auto completed a generator, just like whoop, there you go. That's a good question, actually. I mean, he's not here right now unless he was super fast. But I heard that at least one Czech player attended the tournament, so I'm a little bit surprised. Maybe it was Zulk, because he's from a region of the Czech Republic that's very close to Poland, so it wouldn't be so difficult for him to attend. Maybe he popped over. But if not, I'd be interested to know which Czech players went, because the Czech meta around us is completely fucking toast. So I can't think of which player would actually still care enough to leave their house, never mind leave their country. It ended with 2 teams undefeated because of some time management fuck-ups, from what I heard. Apparently one game was played without chess clock and went on for something like 4 to 6 hours. Are you a Patreon of the Boosted Rolls page? Because I know that gets you access to the Discord, and I'm pretty sure it was explained in there. I think Tomasz was explaining it for... Oh, fuck, I wasn't looking. So, yeah, I know a lot of... Oh, Jesus, I'm fucking this up so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry to you guys. I'm sorry to this Meg here that I'm just dicking up the ass with my inattention. Right. Killer's coming directly for us. Buckets. I agree, it should have been... I mean, that sounds horrific. I've no idea what Simon was thinking, letting anyone play a game off clock that's actually part of a tournament. But, you know, Simon's an experienced organiser, so I imagine he had his reasons, but I can't imagine what they would be. But time management is pretty important in both games, Dead by Daylight and most certainly in War Machine, yeah. Yeah, I really cannot imagine how that happened. I would love to hear. We're just wasting time here. What we need to be doing is getting generator pressure on this girl, so I'm going to leave her, let those guys fuck about for a bit and just get generator pressure. It's more important. What she wants is for all of us to be busy dicking about with all these survivors that she's putting down, and what I want is to have that number of generators lower and lower. Because look, she's picked that girl up, dropped her to come back to this one, hoping that I've gone back to save her, but I haven't. Unfortunately, our third mate has gone to save them, and so I might have to actually go and get involved. Yes, I am going to have to get involved now. Please don't bring them to me. Let's get this girl healed up. Well, I could not have blown that up more if I tried. Absolute monster fuck up there. Yeah, I don't really get to choose whether I get to level up self-care or not. I just have to keep upgrading my blood web and hoping that self-care appears on it so that I can level it up. It's just a case of pumping blood points into it. But yeah, I mean, if I could just choose, yeah, of course, I'd just take self-care 3 immediately. Like. Titties! Yeah, I'm not exactly doing my best here. The killer's playing alright though, to give her a credit. I don't know what this killer does, which makes it very difficult for me to play around it, because I know that she phases out of being or something, but I don't know what that actually means. So I don't know how to play around it. So this is the first game I've had against the Wraith, so I'm trying to sort of learn what she does and how to play around it. Like against Nurse, you can sometimes just run straight towards her when she starts to blink. The thing in the water in the game Limbo. Any good? I haven't played that game. I haven't even heard of it. Seems like we're going to quickly work together to blast out this generator, get the generator pressure back on. So the generator pressure has been basically paused for a while. We've all been injured for too long. So now we've got 3 healthy. We're going to slam out some generator pressure. Very important. We could do with putting out another one immediately. Dead hard effectively, that's good. I didn't think I was going to be able to make that window. Luckily this guy's getting generator pressure again, so that's good. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle like a motherfucker. And they got another generator gun, that's fantastic. She's going to get me out of here immediately. Good news. Time to leg it and hide. Doesn't look like she's coming after me, so let's leg it further away in case she's got nurses calling and can see me healing myself. And then let's spend half an hour using her self-care 1. Then we just need to get one last generator, and then we can all get the hell out of here. That's very bad news. That will have given her an audio cue about where I am. So I have to leave. That's what you get for going for great skill checks. They're designed in a way that if you go for the great ones, you're more likely to miss them entirely. Alright, 3 generators remaining, of which we need to get one of them up and running. All of our people are currently standing, that's great. One of them has been being chased, so we can sort of run around at will. I'm checking for lights. Here we go. And this girl's on it as well, so working together we should get this done nice and fast while he's chasing the other girl. Probably got adrenaline, otherwise she'd want me to heal her first. So I imagine she's going to get healed by this finishing, otherwise I think she should have let me heal her first. I'd be surprised. Wow, she didn't. Okay, so she was right on the edge anyway. All in the same spot. And the other girl got down miles away. So we know this door's going to get close to opened. We'll go and try and help that girl out. And then run back to this door. So over there and to the right is where the door is. Oh, she's fucked anyway. So nothing to do. We just run straight back to this door and get the hell out of it. Limbo was weird but good. Alright, fair dues. So, this was a pretty decent game for us. How many did we get? We got 19.5. Not the best, like these two obviously did... Oh, Jesus, they had a lot better perks. Okay. Interesting. Welcome back. Welcome back. Alright, Gazzo. What would you like to see? Would you like to see killer, survivor, which killer, or which survivor, etc., etc.? What do you fancy? It's all on you, my friend. Killer. Alright. You've chosen killer, so Robin, you get to pick the killer. What do you want to see? Trapper, invisible, nurse, huntress, or hillbilly? So, Trapper, Wraith, Invisible Dude, Hillbilly, Chainsaw Dude, Trapper. Alright, we'll play some Trapper. Let's see what add-ons we've got. Alright, put some nasty little serrated jaws, mangle down. You got any blood point ones? Alright, cool. We are getting lovely quick queues here. This is great. Normally with killer you have to wait for ages. So with the trapper I have 2 nurse perks. One hillbilly perk. Oh, sorry, 2 hillbilly perks at the moment. That really is a crap talent. Why have I got that? Yeah, let's take that instead. Oh, actually, let's take that. That's more fun. Blood points are actually earned across everything. So killers, survivors, everything. And you can have a maximum of 1 million. And that's why whenever I'm getting close to 1 million, I'm going and spending it on something. Because I don't want to waste them. And currently, my plan is to spend them on that survivor, Bill, because of his perk called Borrowed Time. It's a very good meta survivor perk at the moment. And so I'm spending all of my blood points that I have extra on him, and I'm trying to stay close to 1 million so that as soon as we get the new DLC, the new expansion, we'll be able to pump 1 million blood points immediately into our new survivor and new killer, so that at the very least they've got 4 perks and they can sort of get themselves going early, and then of course we'll just keep earning and spending on them to level them up. But 1 million, it sounds like a hell of a lot, but really it doesn't actually doesn't get you close to level 50 with either one of them. And we're going to have 2 different new characters to level up. So really 1 million's a bit of a drop in the bucket, but we can use it to sort of get through that early start when you've only got like 1 perk, and that really sucks. So you want to get to level 15 or 20 to be able to have 4 perks, and then after that, it's all about just leveling up your perks and stuff like that. So. Yeah, exactly. If you got like 25 and a 30, then as you say, 1 million, it's not that much, not really. So we've got a couple of traps set. Someone's boned something up over here. Someone saw me lay that trap and untrapped it. That's irritating. This is weird. Alright, we've seen one. Here he goes. Let's see if he's any good. We're going to get 1 hit on. Nope. Good. 360. Gets the pallet. Good lad. We are getting spanked thus far. They've just found another trap. The amount of line of sight blocking terrain around this map is cause for concern, to say the least. fact that we've not, that's the first time we've hit someone and they've already got 2 generators done, is looking very bad for us. Luckily the old walk backwards trick cost him there, so that's good. At least finally a little bit of good play from me. And let's see if we can snowball this at all. The fact that they're all making noise notifications all the time suggests that they might be on Discord. It's very weird to see such coordinated, like, what is this? Yeah, they're just making noise everywhere all the time. I do not know this map, so I'm trying to mind game someone who knows the map better than I do. And they've already disconnected my traps. This was a trap that we set, so like this is an area that we were hoping to gain some advantage, and this is where we'd be able to now sort of have her fucked up, but instead she's just able to drop that and move on. Really bad news for us. I do not have the perks for just like manual chasing, and this map's fucking frustrating. God damn it! There's another trap disarmed. They're getting far too close to this one getting finished. There's another trap disarmed behind us. Alright, we finally get something good, a bit of a free hit. Jesus. This is one of those games where I'm pretty sure they're on comms, and you can really feel it. Like, just having noise markers go off everywhere, having someone near you at all times that they're communicating where the traps are between each other. Thank God. They're starting to make little mistakes, and that's giving me a bit of a chance, but not much. Yeah, like they're now trying to hook block. Constantly ready to save each other. They've probably got perks like borrowed time to do so. Whoa. So yeah, as soon as I pick someone up, they're immediately off. Yeah, I mean, this is some of the stuff that you can do if you know each other, but nice, found it. The only thing about Survive with Friends is you know they're going to try and show off, you know they're going to try and save each other, and you know they're going to try and humiliate you. So like, there is one of them just here, there is. There it is. And because you know it, you can play around it a little bit. Like, this guy thinks I'm chasing him. Oh, he's just used his dead hard, that's good. And we tricked him into that. Good. Okay, so the individual players aren't necessarily super good, but as a team, they're playing well together, and that is screwing us good and hard. And so I'm going to have to keep this pressure. If at any point we lose this pressure that we've got right now, then we are screwed. So we've managed to get an extra injury. That's good. That stops him from doing much. We need to kill this girl, but she is going to use borrowed time and dead hard. There's the dead hard. Waiting for it. Now we got her. But now we are going to lose the momentum that we've got because she's going to die, and once she finally actually dies like that, now we don't have any reason, we don't have any space protection. They've opened up that one. There are 2 doors. One here, one there. Right. So I have a hex totem which is designed for the end game. Basically designed for this situation. And they don't know I've got it yet, but I can now one-shot kill them. And I am moving a bit faster. So if I can get to that exit door before him, then he's fucked. Alright, good news. So we're going to move him away, because if we put him too close to that exit gate, then someone will just like grab him off the hook and then they'll immediately run for the exit door. No, they don't know what perks I have. They have to sort of work it out as we go along. And I don't know what perks they have. I just have to sort of guess. So 2 escaped, 2 kills against a team. Wasn't my best. That was the first time we've had a proper challenge as killer, so I did enjoy it. But it was a real shame that we were playing Trapper, which is probably my weakest killer. So we got 18k. So yeah, they got 2 rank ups. Don't know if that's a rank up or not. Pretty sure that isn't. And we ranked up. So yeah, they were all basically the same rank. What sort of perks did they have? They didn't have particularly amazing. They didn't have particularly amazing perks, to be honest. So each individual survivor wasn't really doing like amazing dukes or amazing control. It's just that that map was pretty horrific, and when you're against a team and they can just call out where the traps are, then the trapper becomes significantly weaker. Like nobody got caught in a trap once in that game, so his second skill basically did nothing except waste my time walking around setting and trying to pick up traps, whereas normally you can push them towards the traps. And again, that's definitely slightly down to me as a player. I didn't play him particularly well. I didn't push them well enough. So yeah, the only guy that we haven't played, I guess, is Wraith. So I suppose we've pretty much got to play a Wraith game, haven't we? That seems fair. So we're going to play with this add-on, which is just ridiculously powerful. So I basically can be completely silent when I'm going into and out of invisibility. And so we are hopefully going to spank some people. But I've got the add-on, so why the hell not use it? Yep, they get used up. All the stuff that you use on killers gets used up. If you survive as a survivor, you get to keep your item. You get more by upgrading on the Bloodweb. Add-on as in these items. So if you have a look, for example, this one's called the Serpent Soot Common Wailing Bell Add-on. And it's something that I can basically so I get 2 add-ons that affect my power in some way, and then I get 1 offering, which is usually connected to blood points or which map we play on, or like something like being able to kill a survivor without using a hook. I don't use any third-party software, and I'm pretty sure it's bannable. I think any third-party software used with Dead by Daylight would probably get you banned. I know that they added in an easy cheat, anti-cheat software into the dedicated servers and stuff like that quite a long time ago, and it's you know, it's popular. You don't want anyone having an advantage. No, because the question is, if you get a max level on a blood web, can you run out of add-ons? No, because the level 50 blood web will infinitely repeat. So even if you buy everything on it, you'll simply get another level 50 blood web, which contain the higher level of items generally, although it's still random, but you do have a much higher chance to get the odd higher level item. Alright, so... Hello, sir. Sucks to be you. Oh, I thought that was going to be a window or something. That is not a safe pallet, my friend. You cannot hide there. Take these flashlights, just in case they've got any. Are we near my basement? No, we are not. That's shitting up a bit, isn't it? Haha! Surprise, bitch! There is a very small distortion. It is possible to see me, but very difficult. She got screwed because I basically just completely silently came up behind her, and if she wasn't looking, then if she's still in the middle of doing an action, then I get to... So I get to screw her up. So no, the bell normally makes a sound. So it goes ding dong, and they can hear it, and they can hear a direction and all sorts. But I have a very rare add-on in this particular game where my bell is completely silent. So I'm playing right now an incredibly powerful version of the Wraith, because having a silent bell is just so strong. Hello. Let's hit him first, get him out of the way, and then we'll finish off this lady. She's going dead hard now. There we go. But we would expect them to go and finish off that generator at the back of here. I'm going to go and try to prevent it one more time. Oh, so good. We've been successful in regressing that generator quite a lot. So even though they had it almost 100%ed, we've regressed it right back. Hello, bitch. Okay. Oh, clever. Less clever. An actual live horse. Yes, it would seem that there's an actual live horse, yes. I mean, when I'm not making a sound, it's so hard for this game to mind game around. Like, it's just incredibly hard. I feel sorry for him. I won't use this perk next time. This is it's just so strong. Like, the Wraith is actually a fairly weak killer, generally considered, but with this add-on, he just becomes one of the best. No joke. So that is still regressing. We're just fucking them up there. Hello. So the one thing that does fuck Wraith rather spectacularly is the unbelievable god loop that she seems to have found here, involving a lot of vaulting. So vaulting is something that the Wraith cannot do particularly well. She got dead art? No. Right, down she goes then. While cloaked, do they see the red indicator in front of you? No, they do not. So when you are invisible, your red stain disappears. It's very, very strong, but like what you just saw there, where I was trying to work out different ways to try and mind game her, and some of them simply were not possible because she had access to vaulting. If you can get things that you have to vault over, the Wraith becomes incredibly weak. He's also pretty weak to pallets. But again, with this add-on, we are so strong that it kind of makes up for all of that. Hello. Is she gonna god loop around here as well? Yeah, she knows. There's one guy who's just doing himself some generators. He's not. He does not pity the fool. I'd have just kept running if it were me, but... Yeah, if they were all a bit less thirsty, they'd be much more effective. Or like, have you noticed that quite a lot of them are really cleanly, like they need to wipe the blood off? Despite the fact that most of my killers are covered in it. Right, down she goes again. Since she's dead, maybe I should just slug her and go for this guy. She's going to run for a god loop. And then this other guy that's just quietly doing generators to himself is actually doing his putting on a bit of good gen pressure. It's annoying. She got dead hard? No. Alright, so the other guy will hopefully go and finally waste a bit of time not just doing gens, because he's just been doing gens the whole game. Yeah, he has gone and saved the other girl, so at least finally we got him to do something other than gens, and we know where he is. He's in the vicinity of this girl. So this is the one that's just been doing gens the whole game. And it's not the one we wanted to find. What we'd like to find is the other guy, so that when we do get him, then we actually get the kill. Now with this guy, we did get him pretty quickly though, so that's a benefit. I probably should have slugged him actually. I should have just left him. We will have a full hook time though, and the other guy did save him, so we probably feel a bit obligated to go and save him back, I guess. We're now also on the lookout very much for the hatch, because this may well turn into a hatch game. He's gone for him. The other guy's injured, which makes him easier to track, so we're going to go for this guy. Again, I probably should have just slugged him. I'm not thinking straight. Anyway, this guy has run this way, injured. Hello. No, watch it. Oh, you lucky fuck nugget. That's upsetting. That's really upsetting. Oh, no. That's my bad play. That's my bad play that got him away. I should have just cut him off, slugged the first guy. I could have easily found him again. I mean, yeah, okay, we still got 26,000 and something blood points. Yeah, we did really well, but... not this time, baby. Yeah, GG, my friend. Well done. So, not a bad sesh. We leveled up Killer and Survivor quite a few ranks, because I think we ranked up every single game we played today. Yeah, he found the hatch, and he found it just after... He basically found it at the same time that I found it, and I just hit him, so I wasn't able to go and block the hatch opening. I had hit him, so my attack cooldown was refreshing, and so I wasn't able to stop him getting the hatch, and by hitting him, I gave him the adrenaline burst of speed that the survivors get every time from being hit and injured. So I gave him a burst of speed and put my attack on cooldown, so there was nothing I could do to stop him from getting the hatch. If he knew the hatch was there, then he played that very, very well. If he just happened to stumble across it at the exact moment that I hit him, then that's really irritatingly lucky. But, I mean, he shouldn't have had any chance to get the hatch anyway, because what I should have done was slug the previous survivor, so left him lying on the ground. I had Deerstalker anyway, so I could have easily gone and found him later, and then hunt down the remaining guy while there are still 2 survivors alive, so that he's unable to find the hatch. The hatch is visible It's changed. It's changed several times. It's changed several times over several patches. So it used to be that you could never access the hatch unless at least two generators were completed. You couldn't even see it, I don't think, unless 2 generators were completed, and you certainly couldn't enter it unless there was only 1 player remaining. Now, I don't know the rules on the hatch anymore. I'm sure there have been a lot of patches in the last 18 months, and I'm just not sure. But it seems to me, from the games that I've played, that the hatch is visible but makes no sound up until the point when there is 1 survivor left, and then it opens and makes sound. However, the killer is now able to close the hatch if he finds it. That was never previously an option, but when he does that, it powers up both of the exit doors. So then the remaining survivor has a chance to try and sort of juggle between the 2 exit doors if he can, try and get one open and try and escape. Yeah, it adds a bit of tension to the end of the game, because otherwise, I mean, if there were 4 generators left to do and there's only 1 survivor, of course he's definitely going to die. There's no way he can possibly repair 4 generators on his own without getting caught. It's just not possible. Whereas, you know, can he get to the hatch or can he get to the exit doors if the killer closes the hatch is more interesting for everybody. But as the killer, when you feel like you've dominated everybody, they've only got, you know, you've killed 3 of them in the time that it's taken to do a single generator, and then suddenly the last guy just gets to escape for free, it's kind of annoying. So the hatch mechanic has always been a bit controversial, and that's one of the reasons why. It's just because it's a play experience, and I won't say whether it's positive, negative, or neutral, but it's definitely a play experience. And so you know, you've got to decide whether you like it or not. And I think they've patched it so many times now, and they've tried to update it, and they've listened to player feedback, that you would really hope that by now it is at one of its better states. I think in a similar way to the rules of War Machine are currently in a fairly good way. Obviously, it's got its own problems, but they're in a good state. The balance of Dead by Daylight seems to be in a reasonably good state as well, I would say. I'm not at the top ranks yet, and I think gameplay starts to really change there, because you're nearly always playing against pre-made teams of rank 1 survivors, which means they're all going to loop you really, really well. Your game's got to be 10 times as good as my Trapper game was to win that kind of game. I really played very badly with the Trapper there. He's not my best killer by any means, but even so, just my basic tactics and basic movements were off, and my lunge timings, and I was trying to do some moving backwards to avoid my red glow showing, but because I didn't know the map well enough, I was bumping into shit and just getting in my own way and getting lost. It was a horror show. I think the games that are the most impressive is when you're playing killer on form, when you're playing well and you're feeling yourself, you're on fire, and you're against a pre-made team. But that pre-made team isn't just trying to teabag you and generally dick you about, but they're just trying to win, and then you get to have a proper game. That's really like a top level game. The other top level game I would say is when you're playing killer. You're not at the top of your game, but you're playing against 4 solo players. I always feel myself when playing. It's a term that one of the more popular killers that streams and uploads on YouTube, he often says, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling myself, I'm really on foam," or whatever. And it's just got stuck in my head. But it does sound like masturbation, yeah. Alright, not entirely sure what we're playing tomorrow. If the new patch for Dead by Daylight drops, then it will be that for sure. If it doesn't, then maybe I'll play something else, have a little break, because we've played a lot of Dead by Daylight recently, mainly because I'm just enjoying it and having a good time with it, and it seems to be popular with the viewers, so that's great. But we'll see. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be Spectrum Retreat, so it'll be puzzles, and all the new hardware will hopefully be installed by then, and if not, then it will be installed by Thursday, and then on Thursday we'll probably play either Dead by Daylight or Apex. That is the plan. DLC which I would recommend for Dead by Daylight. That's really difficult to answer. So It really depends on what you want to get out of the game. So do you want to spend 500 hours playing it and having every perk and having like the meta loadout of perks that are just like the 4 best perks that you can possibly get? Because that's going to involve getting about 4 different survivors, several of which come in DLCs to level 40 or something like that. That's going to be many millions of blood points. And that's going to mean, for example, that if you're playing Killer, you almost certainly want to buy the Flesh and Mud DLC because it gives you the Hag. And it's not that you necessarily want that Killer, it's just that she has one perk called Hex Ruin, which is just amazing. And so you really want that. Now, there is a mechanic in the game to get those perks without buying the DLC, but you'd have to play it for months because it changes only once a week. And so you've got to wait a whole week and then hope that one of the 4 perks offered is exactly the perk that you need. That's rough. So as a killer, there are certain perks that you really, really want. One of them is, as I say, from the Hag, and it's Hex Ruin. From survivors, you really want... I don't know, with Survivor, I think you can get away with less DLC. There's nothing... Like, a lot of the basic killers have all the perks that you need to do particularly well. So my advice with DLC would be more just what is the style and look and which killers sound cool to you. Watch some streamers other than myself that maybe own those DLC and see how it looks to play those killers. In terms of if you want to watch killers, I recommend a YouTuber called True Talent. His True Talent, but each E is a 3, so it's TRU 3 TAL 3 NT. And he is an amazing player of the game, probably one of the top 5 players in the world, I would say. And he plays mainly killer, and he rotates a lot between all the different killers, so he would be a great one to watch just to get a feeling of which type of killer you want to play. So I'd say it's all about the feeling. Also, like, sometimes you'll just find that a particular killer is not very meta at the moment, and it can feel a bit like playing Troll Bloods. Like when you were playing Wraith back in the day, and there were twice as many pallets as there were now, and flashlights were amazing and everywhere, then the Wraith was just so bad. I don't think any killer is particularly considered to be that shit at the moment. Maybe Hag, ironically. So the one that has a really good perk is actually not a very good killer. I don't know. I don't think that's a very useful answer to your question. DLC that I would recommend, I suppose, that my honest answer is the one that's hopefully coming out tomorrow, because I think that the new killer looks amazing and fun. So maybe that one. All right, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much for coming on and supporting the channel. It means a lot. I'm glad you enjoy the stuff that I'm putting out, and that we're all having a good time with Dead by Daylight. I'll definitely be playing more of that soon, along with a bit of Apex, some puzzles on Wednesday, and then after that, who knows. My hardware's getting upgraded a lot, so we should have some options to play some of the cool stuff that maybe is a bit more graphically intensive. I know, for example, there's a game called Sniper Ghost Contracts or something like that. So this really sniper intensive sniper mechanics game where the graphics look pretty sweet. That just came out very recently, so we might try that out next week, something like that. And then obviously I'll take a break for Christmas, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we end up with. All right. Thank you, as I said, very much for coming along, and hope you enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow night, 8 till 11. Take care. Have a good evening.